Good night, folks, and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. We bring you highlights from sporting events that took place over the last week. Tonight, we continue our coverage of the Inter-Office Basketball League. We will focus on 2 cycling showdowns, tell you what's happening in boxing and in tertiary level volleyball. Let's kick tonight off with some basketball. The Mexico Sports Center in Belize City came alive on Friday night with back-to-back action. 8 teams went up against each other for the top 4 spots in a win-or-go-home showdown. Grace Kennedy took on Tough Enough in the first matchup. Even though Tough Enough came in the knockout rounds undefeated, Friday night was the opportune time for them to be sent home. But Grace Kennedy just did not have it in them to do so. Tough Enough showed them why they are in fact tough enough, demolishing Grace Kennedy 79 to 40 points. Top scorers for the night were Francis Arana with 17 points, the one and only Kevin Hamilton with 17 points, and Ian Rene with 16 points.
We don't take no team lightly because at the end of the day, this is our one drop. So we had to come in with the mentality to win and win by as much as we could without playing with the game. So we managed to get out the victory. I'm happy for that.
The wins over the playoffs weren't just fluke. We worked hard and we put in the work. And basically over the season, we became a little bit about chemistry. So these games, we're still building chemistry. However, we're sticking to the game plan, which is defense and being consistent.
Also dominant in the knockout rounds was Central Health Region Customs. They defeated Holy Redeemer Credit Union by 27 points in a 64 to 37 finish. The unstoppable Glenzie Lopez scored 21 points in a show of gamemanship and skills, running the ball down the court, making the passes, getting in for the rebound, and making the assist. Plays like these throughout the game gave him 8 steals, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists.
How do you feel about your performance tonight?
I feel great. I hope I get a win.
Tell me about what's the mindset and the conversation that you guys will have to have going into the next game, because the competition only gets harder after this and the stakes are only higher.
Yes, I just have to call it the hard work and the teamwork. I work by communication.
The third match of the night saw Belize Water Services go up against the Belize Police Department. At the end of the first quarter, BWS was already leading by double digits. They maintained that lead throughout the remaining 4 quarters for a 70 to 57 victory. And in the final match, the Belize Coast Guard sent home Devin Daly and the National Sports Council Belize City Council team. BWS has its biggest challenge yet as the team faces off against Tough Enough in the first game of the semifinals on Friday night. The Belize Coast Guard and Brandon Flowers will be going up against Central Health Region Customs. From basketball, we move on to some cycling action. In May of 2021, the Gonz Racing Club started off with 17 riders. The founder, Israel Gonzalez, sought to organize races to develop amateur cyclists. Since then, the club has grown quickly, with elite and master cyclists now competing against those same amateur riders. Every week, Gonz Racing Club hosts a race in various categories. This past Thursday, the club hosted a race from the Old Belize to the roundabout in Hattieville and back. Here are some highlights from the event.
There goes Kieran. It looks like it's all Kieran right now, but it's not over until the fat lady sing. There comes the main peloton. Kieran jumped out a little bit too early. There goes the barber. Who is the barber working for? Okay. There goes Green. Not go too fast, you just have to ready. All right, the sprinters, and there goes Barney Brown. Stay way out of the line. You have to go up in there. There goes Barney Brown. Barney Brown is off.
It's been a few months over a year. They actually had a big race for his 1-year anniversary, and it's fully funded and fully supported from a logistics perspective by Mr. Israel Gonzalez. He is the one that's behind this, so we definitely want to thank him for providing an outlet for for these younger cyclists coming up, and also guys like myself, the masters, to kind of keep in shape. It's been a great thing.
It's very competitive, and it's like, for example, we have weekly races. The average that we compete now with the weekly races is not too far from what the elite does, and everyone there in the Gonz Club compete with these elites and finishing close with these elites. So the level has, if you look at the record, it's growing. It's growing and growing, and everyone's getting better thanks to these elites and seasoned veterans.
On Sunday, 79 riders in both the amateur and the master categories rode against each other in a race from Belmopan to Old Belize. Here is a quick highlight from the exciting finish of that race, courtesy of Gonz Cycling Club.
Mr. Roca is off. Mr. Roca, no, let's go. Mr. Roca is off with a ball of speed. Roca Marcus is off with a ball of speed. No one can contest Roca Marcus. No one can contest Roca.
Okay, 2.
Now, we must shed some light on the Belize Boxing Development Council for its continued investment in the sport of boxing. The council hosted an amateur fight night in the Garden City where Belizean boxers squared up against boxers from Guatemala. Also, congratulations to the St. John's College Junior College volleyball men's and women's team. On Saturday, both teams secured their places in the 2022 Atlib Volleyball Nationals, which will be held this coming weekend in San Pedro and Berkeley's Key. And that's it for this week's coverage of Sports Monday. If there's a sporting event in your community that you would like for us to cover, you can contact us at 280-0014. Until next time, I am Paul Lopez.